Hi everyone, this is Matthew Veda, and I will be discussing the features of Lync 2013, how to set up Lync meetings, and what can be done to manipulate your screen while attending the meetings in a series of videos. This video will be the first in a series, and we will be looking at the features of Lync 2013. Lync will automatically open once you log into Windows. Once Lync opens up, you will see the contacts is open by default, which is this area over here. If you look at the windows that opens, we can split it into three major areas. The first is up here. This area up here is we call the status area. The next area is the icon bar search area, and then the last area, the bigger area below, is the content or contact area. The content area will change depending on what icon you click on. So the information that populates under here will depend on what is selected. Now we look at the status area first. You'll see that there's 5 items here. You have the what's happening today bubble, which is currently highlighted, where you can change your status or what's going on for the day. So for example, I can type in here Lync tutorial video, and that'll change that status. So if someone's in your contacts or you're searching for someone, for example, down here Jerome has parts unknown, that's in his what's happening today bubble, and that's what's appearing for everyone to see. To get rid of that, you hover over the bubble again, click on it, and you can just delete that information, and it goes back to default, and then that information will be invisible again, and then it'll go back to the location or your office location. The next 2 items obviously is your picture and your name. In the picture bubble, you have this little colored line to the left that basically determines what your status is. Currently, when you log in, it should say available. So if I click on this little drop down, it shows me the available statuses I can set manually. So obviously you have available, you have busy, do not disturb, be right back, off work, appear away. So Lync integrates the Outlook calendar, so your appointments will automatically be pulled or grabbed into Lync. So your status color will turn red, and it'll say in the available spot in a meeting. If you're in an impromptu Lync call, it'll set it to in conference call. If you do set your status to do not disturb, please be aware that no one outside will be able to IM you. So if someone tries to IM you and you're set as do not disturb, the person IMing you will get a message saying this person has set their status to do not disturb. They will not receive any of your instant messages. So like I said earlier, Lync integrates your Outlook calendar so it can determine your appointments. It actually also kind of keeps track of your mouse movements and keystrokes, so it continues to see that you're available. So for example, if I stop typing or my mouse stops moving, after a few minutes, my status color will turn yellow, and it'll say away, inactive. So hypothetically, if you go to lunch and you forget to set your status as away, it's okay. Lync will actually realize that you're not working, you're not typing, or moving the mouse, and it'll set your status to away. I believe it's between 10 to 15 minutes, the inactive message goes away, and it's just set as away. The next status item is location. It's currently set up based off IP address that no matter which office you go to, Lync will detect which office you're in. So I'm currently in the Shelton office. If I'm in West Hartford, that'll change and say West Hartford. If I'm in the Newton office, it'll say Newton. It'll be the same thing for both Quincy and Providence as well. It'll also change if you're connected to the VPN and working from home. So if you're connected to the VPN, it'll say remote. If you're not connected to the VPN, this item will be blank. So if someone searches your contact card, which I'll get to later, and when I break down the different icons over here, it'll just be location will just be blank. You can actually go in here and change this. So right now, as you can see, Shelton I have highlighted. If I left click on it once, I can actually put in a custom message. So if I am working from home and not connected to the VPN, I can type in home and then click off of Lync, and it'll change. You can also do this too if you're working at a client, and instead of putting in the information what's happening today bubble, you can actually change it. So for example, if I'm at BIC in Milford, I can put BIC in Milford, and it'll change my status again if I'm working at a client. To remove that, you just click on it again, and then it'll highlight. You can just hit backspace, and it'll prompt you to set your location because you modified it. So if you click this drop down icon, you have some custom locations down here. Because I tend to be in Shelton and West Hartford every so often, it'll automatically populate that location. So I'm just going to click on Shelton to reset it back to Shelton. And if you look at the next area, the icon bar / search bar, it's the next area in the item. So we have the first one, if you hover over it, it says contacts. The next is chat rooms. From there we have conversations, phone, and then the meetings icon. So when you click on contacts, you'll have all the contacts you talk to where you double click on the person and search them in the IM. So you can talk to them through IM, or you can call them through an audio conference or do a video meeting. Obviously you have the search bar up here. In the search bar you can search for people in the firm. So for example, if I want to look for all the people whose name is Tom, it'll search for everyone's name who has Tom in it. And as you can see here in the video, it shows tbrady@bloomshapiro.com. That's a test account we've been using from time to time if we need to test Lync or AD things. So by default, most people have other contacts and favorites under as groups. Favorites automatically logs and checks, so people who tend to reach out or IM you a lot will automatically pop up under here. So if you're working with a lot of people in your department, they'll automatically populate under the favorites tab. In our next video, we'll show you how to create groups, how to add people to the group, and how to remove them. As you can see over here, we have a few tabs. So there's a groups tab, which organizes everyone based off the group or whatever you have created group-wise and organize it that way. You can also set it, click on the status tab, and then I'll organize it based off who's online, who's away, or who's offline. You can also organize it based off relationship. So you can set up as a work group, colleagues, friends and family. Same thing with external contacts and blocked contacts. And then we have the new tab, and basically the new tab will most likely be blank for everyone. It's just more or less if you're organizing a person into a group. So for example, if I have a IT group and you add myself to that group that's underneath your group tabs, it'll show that person down here. After the next day, this will be blank again. It's just more or less saying that if you've added any new people to a contact or whatever it means, it'll show up in there because it's new. After some time, will no longer be underneath here. And then you just have this icon over here. If you click on that, you can add contacts in the organization. You can add contacts outside of our organization. As you can see, there's options down here. You can add people outside of our firm if they use Lync. There's a tool called Lync Federation. In a future video, we'll also explain what Lync Federation is, what the tool you can download, and how to use that tool to search your clients for people who are Lync enabled. And then, like I said, in the next video, we'll go into more detail about how to create groups, but you can also create a new group from here as well. If we click on the chat room bubble, you can see that the search bar, if you do search for anything, it'll search for any available chat rooms that have been created. As you can see down here, there's 3 tabs. There's followed, and then there's a member of, which is I'm a member of the IT operations team meeting, and then you have new. And the same thing like the new tab in contacts, it'll only pop up like new rooms that are available. So if you just join a room where you've just been invited to join a chat room, it'll pop up, but over time it'll go back to this will be blank again, and then you'll just be a member of it if you follow the chat room. So hypothetically, if I do double click on this, it'll show the IT operations chat room, and it's very similar to a regular IM window that you've used, but it has this little search icon, and you could search for previous information. At the company policies, we don't track any Lync information or Lync chat IMs. Persistent chat tends to save stuff that's happened. So for example, if a ticket comes in and someone has put a solution in this of how to fix it, I could search that day and say, okay, that was the fix, and then help that person with that issue, then close out the ticket. Like I said, in the next few videos, we'll talk about how to set it up, what a persistent chat is, and what the processes can go through so you can have this set up as well if it's something you're interested in. The next bubble is conversations. As you can see right here, there's a lot of information that I have down here. If you click on this, again, because of the Lync in the company policy for legal reasons. We don't track anything. It's an all or nothing policy. So here, just basically, it shows calls and missed calls and all that other stuff. When you do it, it'll most likely say, you do not have permission to see this. Please contact your administrator or something to those lines. But most likely, this will be blank with a little message over here telling you that you will not be able to view anything. Because right now this is only populated for me because we were using it for testing purposes. The next icon in the icon bar is the phone. Currently, you guys will not have this icon, so the next one would actually be the meeting calendar. But it's not. It's important to mention this anyway. So basically, this phone icon. Right now, we're currently working to integrate Lync to be our phone system. As we are still working on that, eventually, this icon will appear once we do integrate that. This icon right now is currently there because I'm set up for enterprise voice. So ideally, when you click on that, you can actually dial with your mouse and call someone from there instead of dialing on your phone. And like I said a few seconds ago, by integrating Lync into our phone system, potentially you would not need to have a phone at your desk. You can just have a headset and microphone and talk to people through Lync instead of picking up your phone. The last icon is the meeting calendar. Like I said, with the showing the status if you're in a meeting or if you're in a conference call, Lync grabs all your appointments from your calendar. So for any reason, if you have Lync open, you're searching for someone and you want to check what your appointments are, you can click on this icon and it'll show you what appointments you have for the day. So there's two different types of meetings that you can have. If as you can see here, it says Lync training session 1 and it has parentheses Lync meeting. And as you can see, the lettering is blue. So if I click on that, I'll have the option to join the Lync meeting. So if I double click on it right now, you get this have a good meeting pop up, and then you have this little join meeting audio message. So you have three choices, and it's highly recommended that you don't check the box that says don't show this again. If you want to, you could, but if you do check that box and hit OK, these three options won't populate anymore. It'll just use the default of what you selected when you check that box. So like I said, it's highly recommended that you don't check that box. So if you do check the first box, or the first radio button, it says use Lync full audio and video experience. So that basically means that if you have a headset or you're using your built-in laptop webcam and microphone, that's what the default's going to be used. So that's what will be used to show video or be in your audio call. If you do call me at, you have an option to drop down. Some people's, if they drop this down, if you're messing around with or playing around with it, it'll have the work extension number. I could actually click here and hit new number, and I can type in my cell phone number. And if I join audio that way, it'll call my phone or connect me with my cell phone. And then the last one is don't join audio. So for any reason, if the meeting's already started and I want to join, but I don't want my audio to be present because I just want to listen to the meeting, I can click this option and then hit OK, and then I'll join muted. And then the last one here is you can see I have this appointment in my calendar at 4:30. It's black grayed out lettering, and it doesn't have that Lync meaning in parentheses. That means it's just basically a regular appointment. It's in my calendar, but if I double click on it, nothing will happen because it's not a Lync meeting. So if you go back here, you can also see that there's an options tab. So if you click on the gear itself, it'll open up the options menu where you can kind of change some of the settings. There are some default settings that's got set up based off of what it's doing. For example, like when you join a Lync meeting, the option of where we had in the past where it said this person's entering, this person's exiting, that's something that's one of the default options. So you can go in here and toggle some things. You can change your alert settings. You can actually check your audio devices. So for example, if there's a chance that your microphone might not be in, if you click on that options gear and go to audio device, it should show what the audio device is. And for example, right now as I'm talking and recording this video, you can see that the microphone blue bar over here is going up and down as I'm talking. And then if you click on video device, it'll show what your default video device is. And as you can see right now, it's my integrated webcam because I don't have a USB 1 connected. I'm going to cancel out of this window. So for example, we're going to go back to the contacts icon. And if you hover over the person, you have some options you can do. So the first one obviously is send an instant message. The second one is to call. You can call someone, and it'll default to the work phone number. If you do want to change that to call through Lync, you do the little drop down arrow next to the phone icon, and then you have a few options you can choose. The first one that's defaulted is his work extension, and you can add a new number to reach him at, or you can do the last one, which is a Lync call, which will go PC to PC and just do an audio only conference call. If you select the camera icon, it'll basically do the same thing, almost identical to the phone, except it'll be a PC to PC video call. And then the next icon over here is the conference call, the contact card. So if I click on that, it'll populate his contact information. If for any reason it's getting cut off down here from the taskbar, if you click on over here, you can actually raise it up and move it around. And it'll show all the organization, contact information. Organization will show the manager and people who are part of our team, the IT department. So I'm going to close out of that. If you hover over his picture again, you have these little three dots. If you click on that, you have more options, and you can schedule a meeting, send an email message, and then go to meeting, and you have some more options down here you can change as well. So if I double click on Brian's picture, it'll open up IM chat window. From here, have a little different options than the 2010 chat window, where most of the icons and writing were on up above. So the first one, as you can see here, is the IM chat window. So right now it's highlighted blue because it's open. For any reason, to save space, or I need to close it for any reason, if I click on that, it'll minimize and disappear. To get it back, you click on it again, and the messages will come back up. If I want to generate a audio call only, like I mentioned before in the ribbon, you click on that and it'll generate a call with them. Default, because it's set PC to PC, if I just click on it here, it'll just do a regular Lync call. And the same thing with the video camera. If I click on that, it'll generate a video to video meeting. So when I call Brian and he picks up and the Lync meeting is established, it'll not only just activate our audio, it'll also activate our video as well. The next icon here is to share your screen or present your screen. So if I hover over it, I have these options here that I can select. If you choose the first three, you basically are sharing your desktop. So if you're minimizing stuff or you're working, you have something open on the other screen, the person can see all that stuff. If you do not have multiple monitors connected and you just have your laptop, it'll just show this as just being desktop. So you also have some other options over here as well. Here you have program, which basically means if I click on that, any of the available programs I have opened will be shared. So, and I can actually toggle between or toggle which programs I'd like to share. So in the top view, there's this little square that I can check and uncheck. And then those are, so for example, if I have two Word documents open, I can check both documents, and those are the only ones to be shared. If I have them minimized, the shared screen will be black. Once I update it or populate it, maximize it back open, it'll show the window screen. You can do the same thing here with the PowerPoint. That'll just show a PowerPoint. So if you're looking for a PowerPoint file you want to share, you can click on that and it'll just do that. You can do the same thing in programs. You just have to have the PowerPoint open and then just check that box off. You also have these three options down here. A whiteboard is basically, you click on that and you can actually type in text bubbles to put in options. You can do highlighters so you can take notes while you're in a meeting. Sometimes, and you can actually draw pictures if you wanted to, or sketch something out. It's basically a brainstorming tool. You also have a poll option, which basically means you put in a question and then people can vote to feedback. You won't be able to see who voted for what, but you'll be able to see a graph of who decided on what anonymously. Then the last option is Q&A. So basically you type in a question and then you watch people as they IM in the answer to a question. And then you also have tabs up here. You can grab something from OneNote, and you can actually send attachments too. So if you click on the attachment icon or the attachment tab, and you see there's instant files or insert files, you click on that, you can actually browse out to a Word document, click on that, and it'll actually upload to the person, and then you could select to accept it, and it'd be kind of like a little file transfer. And then of course you have this little three dots over here, more options. You click on that, you can manage your recordings. So basically when you click on that icon, if you're in a meeting, which we'll talk more about in one of the upcoming videos, it'll save it and you can actually browse out to that location and manipulate that video or have it saved to a certain location. So this basically concludes the features of Lync 2013. Hope it was informative, and thank you for viewing this video.